Здравейте в поредния епизод на училищния подкаст РОЗОВАТА КЪЩА. Радваме се отново да ви видим или в този случай да ви чуем. Днес наш гост е господин Лопеш, който преподава немски език в нашето училище и който, за съжаление, ще ни напусне следващата година, за да отиде да преподава отново в Германия. Интервюто ще се проведе на английски, за да може да има по-голям обхват. What is the thing that inspired you to become a teacher?
Oh gosh, this was a long time ago. I think I was 17 and I was trying to decide what was going to be my vocation, my job, and I really wanted to study English and German because I was very interested in foreign languages. And I don't know, for the moment when I was at the university, I was starting to help other students, and I liked the idea of giving what I already know to other people. So this was, I think, when I was 17, it started to grow inside me, this feeling to be a teacher, to become a teacher and having fun at it. Yeah.
So how do you turn your students' weaknesses into strengths?
It's extremely difficult because every student is a different personality and it's like raw materials that you have to work with. So some students are just talented for languages and some are not so talented for languages but are good in maths or science. So the challenge here is to try to see what they really have fun doing and like doing and try to invest in that. And they will not all be perfect in German, but I can try to find what can make them better. And this is like the challenge of a teacher, to change a little bit of the world and each person.
And how do you figure out which teaching method suits the best for students? And is there a difference between how the students in Bulgaria learn and, for example, let's say in Germany?
Well, yes. And so these are two questions. For the first question, I think that the best way to teach is when the teacher doesn't talk. So the students should do the talking. And I think that the best lessons that I had is when I decide today I am not going to be the teacher. So they are going to teach each other and take care of the lesson. And there is a big difference because when I was in Germany, I was at a vocational college and students were not always so motivated to learn the language because they were more busy with their jobs and trying to become a hairdresser or a chef or working with children. So this school where I was in Germany was for different kinds of jobs. And foreign languages was not the main focus of their teaching. But here in Bulgaria, because I am in a language school, I believe that students are extremely motivated. I've had the best students in my life in this school, and they are just eager to show what they can do in German. So I'm very privileged to have worked with these children. Yeah.
Do you have an experience which led to your developing more in our school, or a student which actually inspired you to change your perspective of the world?
Yes, definitely. Because when you go to another country, you always change. So before I came to this school, I had no idea what Bulgaria is and what I can expect. So I changed a lot. I mean, I changed the students, but the students also changed me, and I think I became a better person in Bulgaria. First of all, there's a bad thing, because I started smoking, because all the people here smoke, so I had to adapt, and but as a person, I really developed my sense of respecting the Bulgarian culture and the Bulgarian students, learning lots of things like how to cook Bulgarian dishes, how to dance horo, and how to learn Bulgarian music. Also having a feeling of the language a little bit, not That's why we are not doing this in Bulgarian.
Yeah.
We are doing this in English. I do understand Bulgarian, so this also changed me, gave me another language, and also people have a different idea of Bulgaria in Germany, and they don't know what the country has to offer. But to me, being here in this school inspired me to look at different parts of the world with respect and with love.
And what was the biggest cultural shock you have experienced when going in Bulgaria for the first time?
Boza. This was something I cannot drink until today. It's something I don't like. This was a cultural shock because everybody, you have to try banica. Yes, I love it. You have to try shopska. I love it. Tarator, I love it. You have to try boza because it's very difficult. And I tried it and I still don't like it. I'm sorry. But this is just gastronomy, just kitchen stuff. But also in terms of habits, I think that people are people. Like in every other European country, they are either good or bad people, as there are good and bad in Germany and in other countries. So we are all just people.
Yeah. What do you think of Bulgaria as a whole, and would you like to return here even as a tourist and not a teacher?
Well, everybody that comes to Bulgaria very quickly falls in love with the country because there's a lot to offer. My German colleagues that came to visit me are always positively surprised about what Bulgaria has to offer. They love Sofia, they love the students, and they all want to come back. So for sure I will come back. I don't think it's possible to work again in Bulgaria because of some regulations from my job, but for sure I will come back. I really had probably the most amazing years of my life in this country. Yeah.
Also, do you think you would like to work in some other country which is not so developed?
It's kind of a complicated question, a tricky question, because I'm not 20 anymore, and I'm not 30, and I'm not 40. So as you grow older, you start wondering what to do with the rest of your life, because you live only once. So I would like to go to another country, yes, but I'm not sure if I would be happy in any country. But this is something that only the future will tell. For now, I am forced to stay 3 years more in Germany, and after that I can choose another country. I have some ideas because I speak Portuguese, so maybe Brazil could be an option. I'm not very sure about Africa. If I could be happy there. I'm being a little bit selfish, not thinking about others, but thinking about my own comfort. But yeah, maybe Asia or other country would be nice. But I'm still not sure about this. Because now, we are living in Europe and we have all the comforts of European life. Hot water, a TV, audio devices, cell phones. And not in all the countries you can have these comforts. And because I'm getting older, and also my parents are 75 years old, I don't want to be very far away from them. So I would prefer to stay in Europe, or maybe in a place that I can easily go back home when they need my help. So I don't know.
And you're a great language expert. How many languages do you actually know, or have a little bit of knowledge
Well,
of?
should we count Bulgarian?
Yeah, I think we can.
So actually I was raised with Portuguese, learning Portuguese for the first years of my life. So this is one of the languages I speak the best, and German, of course. But also I learned English at school, as you can see, and I was trained at university after that. Because when you learn Portuguese, you can easily learn Spanish, Italian, and French. So I can speak these languages okay, more or less. Spanish, actually very good. And now Bulgarian came as an addition, but I'm not sure I can be philosophical in Bulgarian language, but I can order food in the restaurant. So I would say Bulgarian is my 7th language. Yeah.
Wow, that's truly amazing. What advice would you give to people who want to immigrate to a country but they don't know the country's mother tongue and actually have to adapt pretty quickly?
Okay, look, if you want to be in another country and if you don't know the language, then life will not be easy. I have felt this experience in my own life in Bulgaria, so I cannot expect that other people speak my language. So if I'm living there, I must at least try to integrate by being in contact with people and learning some things about their language. So the best thing to do is to just don't be afraid, talk to people. Even if you don't say much, but talk, listen to what they say, listen to TV in their language and try to be a part of the society. Because if you are not, you will feel isolated. So it's better to speak the language of the country.
And what do you think it's better, to just don't know the language and be forced to learn it there, or to not have a very well interaction with people who are living there and that's their country, and you have only to learn it? You have only to learn the language by textbooks or movies or something like that, but not by actually speaking to the people there.
A language is only worth learning if you speak it. So that's the purpose of languages, it's to communicate. Of course we can speak languages like Latin that we don't speak anymore and learn them, or classical Hebrew, but the most exciting thing about this is like being in the country, talking to the people who speak that, because this is what makes us an identification with that person and makes us feel that person, you know, like, because language is also a mental structure. If you know the language, your mind, your brain automatically changes and you become maybe a different person. I have heard that when I speak Bulgarian, I sound like a different person. So it's like a mental scheme that changes your whole body and changes the way you talk with your hands, that changes the gestures. So the language is there to be spoken. That's why we speak it.
Do you have a favorite word?
In Bulgarian?
In any language that you would like to share with us.
Okay, actually, something that I'm always thinking is about saudade. This is a Portuguese word that is maybe untranslatable, but it's some kind of a nostalgia, like missing something that was there and it's not there anymore. And I think this is a very interesting word, saudade, for people who live in another country. I could say, if you go to Germany, you will have saudade of Shopska, because they don't do it there. So saudade is something that a yearning for something that does not exist next to you.
Do you have a favorite song from the Bulgarian folklore?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I think that Biala Rosa is nice because when I go to the parties with the teachers, we always play horo, and they play that song, and it's one of the few that I can dance to it. So yeah, I like it.
We want to thank you for actually having the time to learn something that it's traditional for Bulgarians, and to actually try to spend time and learn more about the culture and not just work here to get the next salary.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your normal day like here in Bulgaria?
Okay, so because I'm not only working in this school, but I have like 10 schools. I'm preparing teacher trainings. I am preparing plans for exams. I'm usually working a lot, going to the other cities like Pazardzhik, Blagoevgrad, Pernik, where I also give some advice to the teachers there. I also like to meet students from there, and this is my job actually, like traveling around Bulgaria, meeting new people, doing teacher training. And when I'm at home, I watch movies, I go to the cinema, I go to the opera, I cook a lot, I read books, and this is my day. I used to go to the gym, but I don't do it anymore. I should go more often, and basically I'm connected to cultural events and cultural things, like aesthetic parts of life, like music, art, cinema. These are the things that really touch me.
Yeah, isn't it a bit difficult not to being able to settle in just one place and having to move all the time? Or
No, this was a choice. I mean, I had a chance to be in Germany forever, but for my personality, but each person must decide what they want from life, this is a waste of energy and time, because the world is much more colorful than just Germany. So I am very grateful for the experience to be in another country. Every time you move to another country, you change. Probably you change for the better. So I think that a life where you spend 40 years of your life doing the same job, routine day every day, is, for my point of view, boring, and I wanted to change it. So that's why I chose Bulgaria.
In which countries have you worked before, and what was the experience there?
I've just worked in Portugal and Germany, but I had a lot of, and I love these experiences for sure, as a teacher, and also I worked in the consulate, in the Department of Education, but I also had partnerships with different countries like Turkey, Finland, Spain, Italy, and Norway. So I was spending sometimes weeks on those countries for different projects, and this makes life more bright. Some things, though, you should consider, like how well can you adapt to weather changes. Like if a country is very cold in the north of Europe and there's no light for a lot of months, then maybe this can affect your psyche. But in the countries that I have worked, like Portugal, Germany, and Bulgaria, I think I can say that I've led a happy life so far.
And do you have a recipe how to keep your life interesting and not boring, and also be satisfied with the way you live?
I think love. I think love is the most powerful force there is. So when you have love for a person, or for the students, or for the colleagues, or for your boss, you don't need regulations and rules. So I think love is the key to, it's the recipe to be happy.
And how do you keep your passion for teaching? I heard that lots of people lose it after a while because they get used to the experience and it just becomes Monday routine for them.
I think that, you need to love what you do. So if you are not born to be a teacher, I think that you can with difficulty become a teacher. And if you just do it for the salary, then you are not leading a happy life. So of course that maybe the enthusiasm that I had when I was 20 is not the same that I have now. I'm almost 50, but I think I still love this job, and I think that I can still change something. So that's why you need to think about how you as a teacher can impact so many things. A small thing, a sentence that you say to a student, and it's changed his life or her life. And 20 years later, they will remember, oh, my teacher said this. So I think that teachers have a basic role in changing society, and I still believe that we can change and be better. That's why I'm still happy to be a teacher, because I believe that people can be better. Yeah.
Is every class that you teach different in in some sort of way, or are they all the same? Or?
Oh, they are all different. I mean, not easy. You can actually, to be honest, you sometimes as a teacher, I like this class very much. There's some kind of atmosphere and the dynamic in the class that people work with pleasure together. But sometimes it's just the perception of the teacher. Sometimes if you change, if that day you didn't sleep well and you are completely exhausted, then the lesson will not be very good. But the next day, you slept, you had a beautiful morning with a nice coffee and a nice cake, and then suddenly you are in a good mood and the lesson is perfect, but it's also depending on you. So if there's a class that has a problem, you can change it. You can try to change it by your own change, and then you bring this to the class, and then the students will also be responsive. Yeah.
And since you watched a lot of presentations for the DSD exam, can you tell us some tips for not to panic and how to be more prepared?
Well, there are many tips. So you need to think that the commission that is evaluating you, the teachers, they are just people. They are normal people. But they want to see conviction. They want to see a belief. They want to know that you are in charge of the exam. So when you come with self-confidence and after some good night's sleep and relaxed with maybe some exercises to keep your breath at the right pace, and you know that you are prepared, and then the teachers will feel this. So if you are completely well prepared and you show this confidence to the commission, then you will have a perfect exam. They just need to see, he knows what, or she knows what they're talking about. So it's quite easy.
And what's your favorite thing about our school?
Oh. Well, I'm not doing this because you are here, but it's really the students. The students that I am extremely moved, actually. I don't cry, but I'm moved when I talk to students and I say, look, there's this problem in the world, there's this problem about environmental changes or about the war, and I know that these people who are 17 or 18, they read the papers, they know what they're talking about, and they have an opinion, and they want things to change, and they want Bulgaria to be better, and they want Europe to be better. And I think this is the best. When you see that young people are taking the lead to world change, it sounds a bit like I'm preparing this speech, but this was not prepared. It's true. The students here are fantastic. And they give me hope that, when I die one day in 20 years or 30 or 40, I can be relaxed, because there are people who are carrying on to make this world a nice place, So because the people here in this school, the students, they are amazing students. So this is what I love the most about the school. And of course the directors, the colleagues, and everything.
And what is the best way for teachers to make a real connection with their students?
I think that for me it's complicated sometimes because I don't speak Bulgarian. So I think that there's like something missing to connect to students completely. But still, even though there's a language barrier, I think that for most teachers the best way to connect is to have real interest in the person that they're teaching. Not just treat them as numbers, but to treat them as people. Yeah. So this is what I think is the secret.
And you said that art is something that moves you forward. Do you have a favorite piece of literature or a music piece?
Well, I'm always reading. So reading and listening to music. I would say that my favorites are jazz, for sure. I listen to lots of music from the 50s, 60s, old music, old singers. And books, I read everything from fantasy to novels. I'm mostly interested in political science, to be honest. So I read a lot of books that talk about how the situation is at the moment in 2023, and that are some of them are dark visions of the future, some of them are more positive, but what moves me forward is just to always believe that we are not going to go to extinction through nuclear bombs, but that we are going to survive as a race and to become better and better. This is what moves me.
And can you recommend a book for our listeners here?
Yes, I would say, I don't know if there's a Bulgarian translation to this book, but I read some books recently from a professor called Yuval Harari, and he writes books. Some of them were Sapiens, a history of humankind, and I think that this is very interesting because it's a very sober view on history and on science.
Yeah, and also, do you think that there is a thing that actually make you reconsider being a teacher? Or there wasn't a moment like this?
No, never. Actually, the next years I'm not going to teach at all. My future in the next 3 years in Germany is going to work at the Ministry of Education at the department for teacher training and for quality in teaching. So for 3 years I will not have contact to students, and I'm starting to get panic because I think I will miss the school very much. But okay, we will see how it goes. I never considered not being a teacher. This is what I will do for sure until the end of my life.
Do you have any hidden talents that you would like to share with the listeners?
Yes. Well, a talent is that I love cooking, so I am always trying to find new ways and recipes to experiment at home. So I think you can consider this a talent, which takes a lot of time, because if you work with food, you also have to show love and respect to the food. So it takes a lot of time to make a good meal. And I think this is a talent, because through food you can also touch people.
And what are your goals for the next few years?
Okay, I will work in Germany for sure for 3 years. I will try to readapt to a new environment, because this will be a new job. And after that, the world is my oyster, as they say. I'm open to anything that comes, but for sure I will not stay in Germany.
And would you like to tell us a fun story with one of our students, or?
I don't have any more. There's nothing funny. There's like, also I try to keep the classes at a very scientific level. We are always discussing strange, complicated things about life. So yeah, there's nothing so funny about it. It's just, I don't have any funny stories. Just like sometimes they laugh when I speak Bulgarian. And I say torbichka. This was one of my favorite words that I listened for the first time at the supermarket. And the woman asked me torbichka, and I said yes, but I don't know what she was talking about. So. Yeah.
And can you tell us your favorite German wordplay?
Oh.
Just to practice our German.
Yes, there is a very funny video that you can find on YouTube, which is called Rababa Barbara. And this is about a story that people are talking about Rababa Barbara, and she meets Babar, and then she tries to sell them beer. And so it's Rababa Barbara Barbara Beer Bar. So it's like a lot of B's under us. And it's very funny. And every time I watch that, I have to laugh.
And how do you think is the best way to start with a new language?
Well, for me, with Bulgarian, it was just trying to be listening very carefully to what people say, trying to listen to the musicality of the language, the sounds of the language, and just try to go with the flow, just listen, какво правиш сега, and just like listening to how they speak, people speak, try to be a good listener, and then try to repeat like a parrot, just like... And then learn some funny things. Dabe and some things like this, yes.
Do you think the teaching methods in Bulgaria are actually effective, or?
Yes, I think that they're very effective. Especially if you consider the teaching of German, which is like what I'm working with at the moment. It is extremely effective. You see that the results are like in 5 years outstanding. So yes, teachers are good. At least German teachers, the ones I know. And I think that the system of starting with a lot of hours of German in the 8th grade is paying off. It's really great, because when you reach the 12th grade, most of the students here, they speak perfect German. So yeah.
Do you think that it's actually easy for them to learn it from ground zero if they put their thoughts into the whole learning experience?
Well, I don't know if it's easy, but the results are great. So I think, yeah, it should be. Yeah. Although German, I don't think German is such an easy language. I think there is some challenge to it, yeah.
And what is the hardest language,
I think Bulgarian. I think actually it's Bulgarian. Yeah.
Do you watch any Bulgarian shows, or?
When I have the TV on, sometimes I'm watching the Bulgarian TV, but mostly the news, trying to find if I can understand what they're talking about. Yeah, but I don't watch a lot of Bulgarian shows. I was at the theater sometimes in Bulgarian, and I can understand the play. And also when I go to the cinema, when I'm listening to the English movie, American movie, and I'm trying to read the subtitles at the same time to see if I can identify the German, the English and the Bulgarian equivalents to it. So yeah.
So if you know some language which is very broadly used, you can actually adapt to a country which you never knew before. Or,
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Do you think that people in Germany have prejudice against some countries from the European Union?
Yes. I think that yes, especially from lack of knowledge. Because, when you don't know a place, it's easy to talk. Either, when there's something unknown, there are two effects that can be produced. You are fascinated by it, or you are afraid of it, and you have prejudice. And this goes for some of the countries, like even from Bulgaria. When I say I'm going to Bulgaria, people are like, oh wow, what is that? I've never been there. So prejudice comes from not knowing the thing in question. So the only way to stop prejudice is to visit the country, to talk to people, and then you can destroy the prejudice, So, yes, there are prejudice, and there's also prejudice in every country towards other countries, like Bulgarians have problems sometimes with Macedonia and with Greece, and Portuguese with Spanish, and French with German. It's because sometimes you don't know the country, so you need to go there, talk to people, and there will be no more prejudice.
And as to end the interview on a good note, would you like to tell us the memory that you treasure the most from Bulgaria?
Well, I think that I cannot say it now. I can say it maybe in 20 years. In 20 years, I will look back in time and think, when I was 40, I decided to move to Bulgaria, and I had a very beautiful time there, a great time, and it was an experience that made my life much richer. And I think that in the future, if I look back, I will say for sure that these were probably some of the best years of my life, yes.
Thank you very much for doing the interview with us.
Thank you.
I would like to thank the listeners too. И ни очаквайте в следващия епизод на Розовата къща.